everyone, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. Well, I have had the urge lately to really go through my books and resort and reorganize. I used to really do this once or twice a year, do like a big book fondling. That sounds inappropriate, but just to touch all my books that are out, rearrange them, I would reverse alphabetize them and put them in size order by author last name. And I've never tried rainbow shelves because the nightmare of doing it in the first place would drive me bonkers. And then the second place, I know myself. I know that I would be too annoyed after a couple of days that I couldn't just go to an author. I had to try and remember what the spine color was because, as you know, the spine color often does not match the actual cover color. So I know I would just undo it. So that's a lot of work for nothing, and I'm not about that. But I got a comment from someone, MC, hi, on one of my last couple of videos mentioning that this shelf in particular was the most bowed and to move some hardbacks off. Very nicely said, and rightfully so. When I got these shelves, by the way, I ordered 4 black shelves, got 2 black and 2 dark brown. Didn't know it till I got them home, and I had to hire someone to pick them up because they won't fit in my car. Whole thing. I thought, fine, I'm just going with it. So they are what they are. But the shelves, when I unpacked them, brand new, were already bowed. And I mean, these are just inexpensive ones you get from Walmart. Even for being inexpensive, for how crappy they are, they're way too much money, but it's a different story. Anyways, I've just put them up empty and the shelves are already bowed. So me having a double stack does not help anything, I realize, but it's the way my shelves are. Anyways, so I flipped this shelf and I flipped this one last night, and I thought I should probably flip all of these shelves. So I started at the A's, which is this blank spot right here, and I thought I pulled everything off and I dusted. And then I thought, you know what, I should probably film this, and then I can show you as I'm reshelving what I have up here, since you don't ever see the initial the initial lineup, row, whatever, since it's always obscured by a second layer. So I thought I would try that. So not only am I going to try and hope, fingers crossed, that I'll be able to figure out how to edit this stuff together. I think I should be able to. We'll see. And try and find a good angle to film the shelves. But at any rate, let's start flipping. I should say it's Saturday and I hadn't intended to film anything today, so I quick threw on mascara and eyeliner, quick brushed my hair, changed my shirt so it's not this gray stained old shirt I just bum around the house in. So we're just going with it today. Spur of the moment, seat of your pants kind of a thing. So here we go, flipping the shelf. Isn't this glamorous and exciting? I know. Okay. Okay. So this top shelf is going to be A and B authors. And now I'm going to try and move you over and see what I can put this tripod on to get a closer look at the shelf. So bear with. Okay, I hope that this holds. One of my tripod legs is on a rolling chair, so we'll see. Okay, here we go. The Virgin of Flames by Chris Abani. I should probably go closer, no one needs to see my face. The Queue by Basma Abdul Aziz. Alibis, Essays on Elsewhere by Andre Aciman. Castle Bearbane by Joan Aiken. Say You're One of Them by Uwem Akpan. And then a bunch of Julia Alvarez's. I love her. So here's Something to Declare. This is Personal Essays, a former library book. Yo, I love these 90s covers so much. How the Garcia Girls Lost Their Accents. And Before We Were Free, all by Julia Alvarez. Next up, Old Herbaceous, a novel of the garden by Reginald Arkell. This is part of a modern library gardening series. I think these are all fictional, all of them, but yeah. Elizabeth and Her German Garden by Elizabeth Arnim. Death Below Stairs, Jennifer Ashley. There and Back Again, Sean Astin. This is written with Joe Layden. The Secret Rooms, a true story of a haunted castle, a plotting duchess, and a family secret by Catherine Bailey. Don't need to see my guest robe back there. Miss Hargreaves by Frank Baker. This is part of a Bloomsbury Group series of novels that was published maybe 10 years ago. From a Distance, a novel by Rafaela Barker. A Nice Change by Nina Bawden. I didn't realize until this one that Virago did hardcovers. I've only ever seen soft covers of them, so learn something new every day. The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. I can hear the theme song in my head right now. Mrs. Ames by E.F. Benson. This is another in that Bloomsbury Group series. The Copper Beech and Light a Penny Candle, both by Maeve Binchy. The Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyne. Again, if I didn't say, these are all TBRs, because of course they are. Lamp Black, Wolf Gray, and The Little Shop of Found Things, both by Paula Braxton. Paula Braxton. I know English. Okay. The Fairy Tale Girl. Martha's Vineyard, Isle of Dreams. Woo! That was bound to happen. And A Fine Romance, Falling in Love with the English Countryside, all by Susan Branch. And all of these books are handwritten and full of pictures, illustrations. They all have ribbon for bookmarks. So these are really fun to read. A very beat up copy of The Honey Siege by Gil Bouhet. And the one that kamikazed itself is An Arc of the Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. So that is the first row for A and B. Now, I mean, you can see some of these anyways, but I don't have a lot of places to put stuff while I'm doing things in transition. So here we go. Okay, King Arthur and His Knights. I inherited this from my cousin Gary, who passed away several years ago. A Noble and Joyous History, part of the Windermere series, edited and arranged by Philip Schuyler Allen. I never saw Hamilton. I know I'm horrible, but I don't know how to pronounce that last name. So we'll just do this. So I think there are plates throughout. Yep, there are. Oh, Sir Gawain. Hey Mom, Stories for My Mother, but You Can Read Them Too by Louis Anderson. I love Louis. And then part of the Rivers of London series by Ben Aronovich. So I have the first, Rivers of London. The third, Whispers Underground. Fourth, Broken Homes. And the fifth, Foxglove Summer. And I ordered all of them at the same time, and I ordered them all in trade, but I got this one in mass market. A little annoying, but I don't want to pay to fix it. So here we go. Then I have some urban fantasy by Carrie Riley. Nope, Carrie Arthur. She's an Aussie author. She has a lot of series. I think she does urban fantasy, she does romance, she does maybe sci-fi too. I'm not sure. She has a bunch of series. But the one that I read of hers that got me hooked on her writing and hooked on her worlds was the Riley Jensen Guardian series. That was really good. I think that's 9 or 10 books. So I have 4 here from a series, and I'm not sure if this is the whole thing. It was just a quartet, or if there's more, no idea. The main character in these 4 is, oh, what is she? Half werewolf, half aid, AEDH. Not sure what that is. I don't know, some kind of angel something, I'm assuming. So, in reverse order, we have Darkness Hunts, Darkness Devours, Darkness Rising, and Darkness Unbound. And then I have books 2, 3, and 4 in this Souls of Fire quartet. I read the first one, and it was all right. The main character in this one is a phoenix. So book 4 is Ashes Reborn, Flame Out, and Wicked Embers. You can tell I buy a lot of these used and just never bother to take off the price tag. Okay, on to the second row of B's. The Great Influenza, The Story of the Deadliest Pandemic in History by John M. Barry. I got this right before stay-at-home when everything started to come down, so like, mid-March. Yeah, can't quite read it yet. Next up is Mrs. Osmond by John Banville. So Mrs. Osmond is a secondary character in one of my favorite novels, The Portrait of a Lady by Henry James. And this follows Mrs. Osmond's life. She is a British lady. She leaves Rome, goes back to London. Something shocked about her husband betraying her, not sure. And then she goes back to Italy. And I'm not sure exactly when this fits into the timeline of A Portrait of a Lady. It sounds like it's all before Portrait of a Lady starts, but don't quote me on that. I haven't read this yet. Then I have books 3 and 4 in a quartet by C.A. Belmond. Book 4 is A Rather Remarkable Homecoming. These are set in England and France. They're very light romantic mysteries. And A Rather Charming Invitation is number 3. I will read these, Mom, and get them to you soon. Next up is Lorna Doone by R.D. Blackmore. This is a 550-page book. Look how tiny it is. Tissue paper for paper, but it's signed Claire Critzick, Chester, England, 1969. I love stuff like that. Then I have The Making of a Marchioness by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and my little collection of books about Beethoven. He is my favorite composer by a long shot. Love his music, all of it. Nothing I don't like. And I think it's amazing that someone can compose classical music anyways. There are so many literal moving parts, so many instruments you have to compose for, and they all have to go together. I'm amazed by anyone who writes classical music at all. I mean, bar none. But to do it and to do such amazing stuff when you're losing your hearing and then you're deaf, I mean, it's like a superpower, So I have Beethoven as I Knew Him by Anton Felix Schindler. A lot of these trades are very heavy. Beethoven by Maynard Solomon. I just remember hearing vaguely in general that this is a very good biography of Beethoven. I think this was published in let me tell you for sure now. It was in 1977. So I'm not sure if there is something out there that is an updated version of this, or if there's a better Beethoven biography. But if there is any book at all about Beethoven, please let me know. I will happily go and track it down. Then I have Beethoven Impressions by His Contemporaries This is collected / edited by OG Sonic. He is an OG apparently. Beethoven's Kiss, Pianism, Perversion, and the Mastery of Desire by Kevin Coppelson. And the last Beethoven book I have is Letters, Journals, and Conversations. This is edited, translated, and introduced by Michael Hamburger. Okay, can you see this? Let me try tilting a little bit. That works. Okay. Well, you're getting to see more of my house than I thought you would. It's always a mess. Spoiler. Okay. Let's flip the C and D shelf. This shelf didn't seem that bowed until now it's flipped over, and now it looks really bowed. And there is a scratch on it, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be covered by books in about 3 seconds anyway. So, oofda. Let's see if I can do this without showing you all the books first. Ignore that. Okay. And it would be nice now if I could declutter some. She says, knowing that's not going to happen. But I could always use shelf space. So let's see. Okay. You Can't Make This Stuff Up. Life-Changing Lessons from Heaven by the Long Island medium, Teresa Caputo. Yes, I believe in mediums. Yes, I like Teresa. No, I don't care who knows it. Okay. Ooh. Heap House. Written and illustrated by Edward Carey, for sure. Keeping that. That's the start of a series. Then I have 2 by the same author, Jennifer Lee Carroll. I'll show you one without. So, Interred with Their Bones and Haunt Me Still. So, this is something about Shakespeare, a mystery series. Something about, okay, on the eve of the Globe's production of Hamlet, Shakespeare scholar and theater director Kate Stanley's eccentric mentor, Rosalind Howard, gives her a mysterious box. Globe burns to the ground, Roz is dead. So Kate has to apparently solve some mystery with the Globe and Hamlet. And this one is number 2. This one follows Macbeth. Interesting. Then I have a vintage copy of Bedelia by Vera Caspary. Caspary? Let's see, this is, oh God, 47. Caspary. She also wrote the book Laura, which I have not read yet, but really want to read. That adaptation film from the 40s is one of my favorite movies. It's so good. Then I've got Shadows on the Rock by Willa Cather. Just going to keep falling over. Okay. The Healing Earth, Nature's Medicine for the Troubled Soul by Philip Sutton Chard. Philip Chard is a local journalist. He used to at least have a column in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel for a long time. I saw him speak and got him to sign the book. This is written in, or published in 1994. So this would be a really good time probably now to read this book and see what it's like, since it's been several decades, unbelievably, since it was written, but should be interesting. Story of my life should be interesting. Okay, The Late Bloomers Revolution by Amy Cohen. This is a memoir. Oh, The Big House, A Century in the Life of an American Summer Home by George Howe Colt. I really love books about big houses, summer houses, big houses, country estates, lake houses. I don't care. I just love stuff like this. And I've been saving this for years till it's the right time. You know how that goes. But I'm excited about it and I don't want to ruin it by reading it at the wrong time, you know. Then I have A Private Hotel for Gentle Ladies by Eileen Cooney. This is, I think, set around the turn of the 20th century. And I think it's about whores, I think. Oh, it's for women. So yeah, should be interesting. I love a good horror book. And then we have Coronation. This is about the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. And with this book, this was sent to my grandmother by some of her pen pals in England, and I have their postcards, correspondence. They lived in Hull in Yorkshire. Greetings. Gladys Wheelband. I don't remember that name. Let's see. I don't know. Here, so let's see what this little letter is. I didn't realize this was in here. I mean, I knew it was, but you forget. Okay. Ooh, a long letter. 3 little pages. This is from 1954. Oh, from Rose. I remember Rose. She came to visit us in the 80s. Oh, Rose. Anyways. And then here's this airmail. Oh, more addresses in the back. Let's see. Sorry, this is distracting maybe, but I hope you find this as interesting as I do. This is February 13th, 1954. I understand you would like another list of pen friends, so here are 1 or 2 names and addresses together with greetings for... It looks like it says Thinking Day, but I don't know. I have just packed a few magazines for you. Yours sincerely, Gladys. And then, oh, some of these were kids. Everyone lives in Hull. I think a lot of them live on the same street. So I'm going to say their names because the chances of them seeing this, I'm not going to give their addresses. I doubt that they are living in the same place in Hull, but so their names are Valerie Bennett, aged 12, Susan Peck, Karen and Jane Hallett, they are 14 and 12 respectively, Pauline Harrison, who is 13, Penelope Marshall, who is 12, and Allison White, who is 14. Oh, Graham. Cool stuff, man. Anyways, I really miss my grandmother now. Published for the Girl Guides Association by J.A.C. Roberts. Never seen that portrait of Elizabeth before, have you guys? It's new to me. Published in 1953, and it's illustrated too. Very cool. Stick all this stuff back in here. Okay. Back to our scheduled programming. An Arc of Glitter and Glue by Kelly Corrigan. Bear with. No peeking. Okay. Ooh. Murder in the First Class Carriage. The First Victorian Railway Killing by Kate Colquhoun. Yeah, Colquhoun. This is nonfiction. A Slight Trick of the Mind by Mitch Cullen. This is what the movie Mr. Holmes was based on. That came out with Ian McKellen, what, like 4 or 5 years ago? Something like that. Where Sherlock Holmes is in his 80s. Don't know much about history. Everything you need to know about American history but never learned by Kenneth C. Davis. This is clearly from the 90s or 80s. I mean, it's old. And I've got 2 books no, 3 books in this series. This is Belfield Hall, or The Observations of Miss Dido Kent by Anna Dean. So this is the first one. I think number 2 here is A Gentleman of Fortune, or The Suspicions of Miss Dido Kent. Maybe they're all suspicions. Nope. And the third, A Woman of Consequence, The Investigations of Miss Dido Kent. And then there's this one, which I've had for a long time, A Venetian Affair by Andrea de Robelant. This is nonfiction, I believe, about Casanova and Andrea Memo. So Andrea or Andrea. I'm clearly Midwestern American. I was going to say Andrea, even though she's Italian. Andrea Memo is wait, no, maybe she's not. Stop reading, Laura. Okay, this is about some relative of Andrea de Robilance, who was a lover of Casanova, and about the letters that the author's father found from Casanova about this love affair. So, yeah. This is going to be a really long video. I'm sorry. Okay. This is not going to work very well. I also have E's in here too. So let me pull the E's out of the way. Okay. Still in the D's, we have Dead Letters by Kate Dolan Leach. Have you guys read this one? I saw some like middling reviews on that one for Book of the Month. But again, that's a few years old, so I don't remember anymore. Oh, I don't even. Oh, Hungry Hill by Daphne du Maurier. I have all my other du Maurier over on another shelf over there, so I'm going to leave this out to stick with the other ones. Carol Dunn, Death at Wentwater Court. This is the first in the Daisy Dalrymple mystery series. Wartime Writings from 43 to 49 by Marguerite Duras. Translated by Linda Coverdale. Oh, My Family and Other Animals by Gerald Durrell. And Margaret the First by Danielle Dutton. I really want to read this. Okay, on to some E's. Dorothy Eden, Speak to Me, Love. This I got at once a year. I don't know if they're going to be here this year or not, but Half Price Books has a huge warehouse sale at the State Fairgrounds, not too far from my house. So I always go to the vintage table. I've been once, always. I went to the vintage table and everything was like $1 and $2. So I just kind of stocked up on old stuff. Because why not? Another Dorothy Eden, The Time of the Dragon. These look like Victoria Holt-ish books. Kind of romantic suspense. 75. Has anyone read Dorothy Eden? I'm going to guess no, but maybe. Another library sale book, Trees and Far Horizons, Adventures and Discoveries of Early Botanists in America by Virginia S. Eifert. I think this has little illustrations. Ooh, there are some photographs in there too. Why didn't you guys tell me to put this door back? Jeez. Then I have 3 in this mystery series by Kathleen Ernst. Weird note, I have 2 friends from 2 separate areas of my life who are good friends with the author. So this is the Chloe Allison series. These are set in the 1980s here in southeastern Wisconsin. Chloe is a worker at Old World, Wisconsin, which is a living history outdoor museum in Eagle, outside of Eagle, Wisconsin. And they have barns and buildings from way back in the day from all over the state. So it's kind of antique folklore based, a lot of them. I don't know how many more she has in the series, quite a few. She's still writing them. But yeah, so this is book 2, The Heirloom Murders. The Lightkeeper's Legacy, book 3. Lots of Lighthouses in Wisconsin. And Heritage of Darkness, book 4, I believe. So that's the first row. And let me get my second one. Oh, this is where I'm going to have a problem. Some of my stacks are behind you. Crap. I will just show you what I can reach for C's, D's, and E's. And yeah, one big stack that's always like stacked this way that you might have seen corners of, part of on the shelf is the Virgin River series by Robin Carr, contemporary romance series. I'm just working through those. You guys don't care about individual titles, I'm sure. I have book 8 or 9 through the end. I think there are 17 in the series, so those are in a big stack over there. You might hear me swearing. I'm going to try not to bump this camera, but let me try and grab some. That's not the Robin Carr series. Okay. I have no faith in my stealthiness. Whoa. Oh, okay. One stack. I don't know about this. Pardon. Oh, I'm impressed with myself. And then I have another big stack on the bed with C's. I'm going to have too much of an overflow, and I'm going to have to put some of these books in the basement. Why don't I just start with this and see how this goes? Good planning, Laura. So professional. Okay. The Cold Light of Morning, a mystery by Elizabeth J. Duncan. This is a cozy series set in Wales, North Wales specifically. I don't know. I think this is the first one. Not sure. There might be more in here. A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. This is translated from the French by someone. Why don't they put translators in the cover? They do just as much work almost. Hildegard Searle. This is the first in a YA-ish series. This is by Europa. These are not going to be in order, by the way. Okay, A Small Hill to Die On by Penny Brannigan Mystery, Elizabeth J. Duncan. This is the same Wales cozy mystery. Just stick these together. This is an ARC, The Lost by Sarah Beth Durst. Here, once you arrive in Lost, well, it's a place you can't really leave. Not until you're found. So Lauren is now trapped in the town where all lost things go. Luggage, keys, dreams, lives. Where nothing is permanent, where the locals go feral, the only road out of town is engulfed by an impassable dust storm, and escape is impossible. Until Lauren decides nothing and no one is going to keep her here anymore. Sounds good? Okay. This won the Man Booker in 2006. The Inheritance of Lost by Karen Desai. Oh, romance, old school, I'm assuming. The Duchess, Jude Deveraux. This is The Old Curiosity Shop by Dickens. This was, again, from that Half Price Books clearance sale. The Heritage Club. Anyone familiar with the Heritage Club? There's some stuff in here from them. This is printed in 1941. Illustration here. This seems like very 60s, doesn't it? Not 1940s illustrations. I don't know. This was literally like $1. And this slipcover. I mean, what? Count of Monte Cristo by Dumas. Finding Fraser by Casey Dyer. This is about, I just got this one, about a girl who loves James Fraser from Outlander, and rightfully so, who wouldn't love him? But she decides to go to Scotland to try and find her own James Fraser, and then I think discovers more about herself and life and whatever blah. From Here to Eternity, Traveling the World to Find the Good Death by Caitlin Doughty. I want to say Caitlin because of Caitlin Moran. It's Caitlin. Another in that Welsh mystery series, A Brush with Death. Stick those together. On these silken sheets, 4 stories, 4 secrets, 1 naughty club. I'm assuming this is like a romance erotica. I don't know. Sabrina Darby. This is one of those books. I don't know where I get them from exactly. I'm assuming this is from Paperback Swap. It is. Paperback Swap thing in here. Who knows? Kill the Farm Boy, Once Upon a Time by Delilah S. Dawson and Kevin Hearn. This is the start of a series. Bringing Down the Duke, Evie Dunmore. Let's see how many C's I can get up here. Well, I'll do this first. How about? So I read the first in this, I think it's a middle grade series, if it's, or YA, I think it's middle grade though. Read the first one, really, really liked it. Thought it was so much fun. Read it in an evening, even though it was a big chunkster of a book. And then I proceeded to buy the next 4 and never read them. That is the School for Good and Evil series by Soman Chainani. And here are books 2, 3, and 4. I mean, Not to quote Chandler, but could they be any bigger? You know what? Let's put Evie Dunmore back here. Since I have a space. With that Margaret du Maurier. Okay, Daphne du Maurier, excuse me. And then I've got 3 Jenny Colgans here. She's one of my go-to contemporary authors. I just like her stuff. So I have Christmas on the Island, The Endless Beach, and Meet Me at the Cupcake Cafe. I'm going to show you the rest of the C's. I'll try and cram them on here. So I have Anne Cleeve's Long Call that my mom gave me. This is the first in the Matthew Venn series that was published last April. Oh, Night Tiger. I didn't finish this one. Even though I read it for the BookTube prize, don't tell anyone. I figured it out enough. I like the author, so. Then I have The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. This was February 2019 Book of the Month option. I just got it recently though. The Binding by Bridget Collins. And yes, I bought the UK version because, hi, have you met me before? That's what I do. The Last Pirate of New York, A Ghost Ship, A Killer, and the Birth of a Gangster Nation by Rich Cohen. This was one of this year's shortlisted nonfiction titles and then got bumped off in the first round, but I still want to read it. And then the third in the Catherine Coulter J.T. Ellison series, The Endgame. I had the other ones in one of my basement boxes, but my mom just read that one out of order, so I got it back. So I think that's it. This is going to be long and I'm sorry, but I will try and do this next one like E/F through, I think I have through M, which is a weird place to end, but whatever. I'll try and do those soon, and I'm also going to get back to doing my TBR unboxing videos, bringing up the stuff in my basement. What stops me there is that now the only boxes that are left are really big, and they're really full, and it's really heavy, and I don't want to haul them up, but I will. So anyways, hope you're having a good day. Hope you enjoyed this. Have you read any of these? Are they good, terrible, bad? For real, if you have any Beethoven recommendations, please let me know. And I hope you guys are having good days, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.